The she-wolf, slayer of Orican, stands by your side.
Well, well, well. After quite a bit of testing, I've finally put together a Voruna build that makes the level cap an absolute joke. This build makes Voruna play the way I think she should have been released, through invisibility that won't break when she attacks and tons of status spread. For those of you who haven't seen the previous build video, we are utilizing a unique mechanic with Ivara's quiver skill by attaching our invisibility arrow to our Sentinel. We do this by bullet jumping in any direction, flipping our camera, and shooting our own Sentinel with the arrow. This allows us to wreak havoc with our melee with very little concern for taking damage. As for the mods we are using, here is the setup. We are using Molt Augmented to push our ability strength by another 60%, primarily for a big increase to her skill 1, and Arcane Strike to get Tennokai as fast as possible on our melee. For those of you who are newer to Voruna, here's a quick rundown of her skills. Her skill 1 you always want active, and grants you various buffs to your melee. This skill can also be extended once per cast when you melee kill an enemy. Her skill 2 applies random statuses to an enemy, and when killed, will spread all those statuses to nearby enemies. As seen in this clip, it's quite effective. Her skill 3 is another skill similar to her skill 1 that you always want active. It's used to drop health orbs when we get melee kills, which will activate Equilibrium. Its duration can also be extended by killing enemies with 5 or more statuses, which we can get easily from her skill 2. As for her final skill, we have removed it for Quiver, which is what's allowing us to stay invisible while on the move. Voruna also has 4 passives, one on each of her abilities that can be separately activated whenever you choose. In this build, we are going to be utilizing her skill 2 passive since we are not using Rolling Guard, and it helps with survivability. As for the mods themselves, we are making use of 2 Archon mods here since they apply from Voruna's skill 2. Also, with a combination of Brief Respite and Catalyzing, we can occasionally shield gate with ease on top of the invisibility. As for the Archon Shards, I am using 2 green Archon Shards to hit the corrosive cap, which is 14. The rest of the shards are just to increase Quiver's duration, but are flexible for other things such as ability strength or even cast speed. One of my favorite parts of the build is the Nautilus Sentinel. As seen in this clip, we are using it to spam its Cordon ability through Manifold Bond. Sentinels are also nice in general due to Guardian being an additional shield gate and their ability to revive through the Sacrifice mod. For the Sentinel weapon, the only mod that matters since we didn't mod it to shoot is Critical Delay, because that will give us enough critical chance to proc our Tenacious Bond mod for a passive 1.2x crit multiplier. The Vigilante mods here are not being used in this build. When it comes to the weapons, this loadout mainly revolves around our melee, which in my case was Hate. You can replace the Riven with a Bane mod, but the general idea is that we modded for crit chance, crit damage, and attack speed. These are the Incarnon upgrades I chose. For our primary option and as an extension to our melee, I suggest using Bubonico due to its ability to apply corrosive and viral. It's modded entirely to apply its statuses as fast as possible, and you can replace the Riven for more fire rate through Vigilante Fervor. As seen in the clip, it instantly fully strips and applies viral. When it comes to the secondary, there are many options in this build. With the way Voruna's kit works, she mainly wants to be meleeing, so I would use something like Epitaph just to prime hordes of enemies and then use Bubonico more for my single-target priming scenarios. For example, I typically use Bubonico on Overguard Eximus units or Thrax. That being said, Epitaph does not apply full stacks of statuses nearly as fast as Bubonico, but we have it modded for various statuses instead just to proc condition overload, while our Bubonico is mainly being used for its instant strip and viral stack potential. However, If you're looking for a weapon that can do serious damage, you can consider Latum Incarnon as an alternative choice. This is a crit Latum build, and the Riven can be replaced for a 60-60 Toxin mod. Just be sure to use a Dexterity Arcane on at least one, if not both, your weapons, since it significantly helps keep melee combo count. These are the upgrades I use. Welp, that's the end of the build guide. Drop a sub if you enjoyed and let me know if you have any questions. I'm live every day on Twitch, which I'll leave the link for in the description. Apart from that, I hope to catch you guys very soon on our next level cap build.